All right. Well, thank you for listening. You're tuned into KPOO. My name is Francesca, and I'm so honored and excited. I am joined here live in the studio with Kevin Seaman. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Francesca.
Yay. And I'll be honest that this was kind of a last minute. I'm so lucky to have you, your time, and to get you. We made it happen.
It was serendipity.
It really is serendipity. It thrills me. It really thrills me. I'm just so glad that you're here. And so you've been doing incredible work with the Brava.
Yes, I'm so excited to be in residence there.
It's so awesome.
Yeah.
But let's go back farther. Before we get to Brava, let's start at the beginning. Okay. So when did your artistic endeavors begin?
Oh, my gosh. My artistic endeavors began probably in high school when I realized that theater existed, and I just totally got sucked into the world of theater.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first thing that you saw on stage?
Well, the first show I participated in was Our Town, and it was this totally mundane high school version. It was so boring.
It's such classic America,
Classic America.
Right.
But it still was. It was the excitement behind the scenes and getting to be a part of something bigger than yourself was really the thing that drew me to it.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And so you were just hooked from high school.
Absolutely. I think, I moved to San Francisco in 2004 to really pursue an acting career, and then realized very quickly that, I don't know if I can live on this. And I think after a while, I evolved from theater into, queer performance, which then led me into drag performance, led me into video and sketch comedy and all these different influences that I've been exploring over my last 15 years here in the Bay Area.
How fabulous. It's such a journey. You're on such a path. I love it. I love it. And then, so this is original work that you have written you are so deeply invested in this piece.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
really beautiful to see an artist give their all, give their heart.
Yeah, so my first solo show is coming up. It's debuting down at Brava Theater in their new cabaret space the first 2 weekends in October 3rd through 5th and 10th through 12th.
How exciting.
The piece is called #FeMasculine, and it is essentially my first solo show. It's exploring kind of my histories with gender and sexuality and interweaving a lot of queer and gender theory, specifically borrowing a lot from Bell Hooks and her book, The Will to Change, Men, Masculinity, and Love. I made for the drag portion of the show that we have, I made a cootie catcher with all these different Bell Hooks on the inside.
Oh, I love it.
So it's very candy sweet on the outside and then hard truths on the inside.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's brilliant. That's the way to do it.
Yes,
I love
absolutely.
that. I love that. Where did this idea begin for you? I know you said you've been working on it for about 3 years, which is intense.
It's super
But I
intense.
imagine even before that, these ideas are spinning in your head.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think to me, being in San Francisco for 15 years and really finding my adult self here, I was really drawn in my very early years to a lot of bear culture, which was very hyper-masculine. It prized masculinity above everything else. And I really tried to forge myself in the image of that culture at that time before getting into it and then realizing that it didn't really fit all of me, that there were other pieces that felt like they were really missing. Right. And then I started turning to drag, which was this hyper-feminine expression. Totally opposite.
Wow.
And then I realized that I'm I'm both these things at the same time. And so
I love it. People are complicated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Ask me what day. Ask me what minute. Ask me.
Today I'm a bear, now I'm a drag queen. Or tomorrow I'll be a bear drag queen. I don't even
Perfect.
know.
Right. Perfect. As you should. As
exactly.
you, whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's whatever you feel. Yes.
So the show is really just kind of it's sharing my own exploration towards self-acceptance and really just being the person that I am. It really deals heavily with a lot of dating and hookup app culture and really thinking about how we're treating each other, both from a very hyper-masculine perspective and then when we go towards the drag portion of the show with my persona, LOL McPherson.
LOL McPherson. I love her.
Yes,
I love
she's
her.
very fun. She's got her own merch. You can purchase it at the show.
Ooh.
It's very exciting.
Ooh, that is exciting.
But she starts to log on so that she can troll bros and then slowly starts to like herself less because of the messages that are happening.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, how powerful.
Yeah.
You know, and there's something so beautiful when artists are so honest because everyone in that theater is going to relate to you. Everyone's going to see themselves.
Yeah.
Everyone has stories where, you know, you think you're a fit. It's not a fit. You try, you know, you go the opposite direction.
Absolutely.
I mean, just on all levels, we're all so complex.
Yes, and it's been such a process evolving the show over the many years that I've been working on it, working with writer John Calden, who's been amazing at helping me to really figure out what is the pivotal junction of what we're exploring and how do we stick to just that. Creative director Beatrice Thomas has helped to provide this huge vision for the show. And then I'm also working with theatrical and movement director Ryan Marchand to really just crisp up each moment and make it really specific and fun. I'm working with a ton of amazing people, including all of the staff at Brava Theater to make this happen. I think I started wanting to do a solo show because I'm like, I hate calendaring with people. I just want to do something on my own. And then, of course, it turns into a production where you have a ton of people working on it.
Right. Oh, I love it. And I know Brava is invested. I mean, they are fun folks to work with,
They are
too.
super fun to work
They're
with.
They're passionate.
Yeah. And I think it's been really fun thinking and seeing over the time that I've been in residence there and developing this show, the cabaret space come to life.
Yeah.
When I first started, it was still not finished yet.
Wow.
And so they've done an amazing job of fundraising for the space and making sure that that's there. And I'm really excited to see how it's going to continue to evolve, specifically around the idea of nightlife along the Calle 24 cultural corridor.
Yes.
And see kind of how they're putting their foothold down there for really fun events.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It's really awesome. I mean, I really think it will change nightlife down there, change the city, change the culture. Absolutely. So I always wonder, when you are working on this labor of love, it's so personal. How do you know when it's finished? How do you finish something like that?
Well, I think that's why
because you're about to hit the stage.
Yeah. Well, and I think, the place that we've come to, I think we really struggled with the ending of the show.
Okay.
Because the show is essentially me retelling the story of exploration through gender. So really starting as a young boy, feeling like I have to conform to these ideas of masculinity in order to be a quote-unquote real man. Right. Then coming out as gay and feeling like I have to conform to these ideas of masculinity in order to be a real man.
What are the stereotypes of a gay man?
To be sexually attractive or to fit in there. Then switching and feeling like I have to conform to all these different ideas about what it means to do drag.
Right.
And drag expression in the age where drag has become an industry with RuPaul's Drag Race, which is really fantastic, but it's also changed the queer traditional art form of drag.
Right.
And so then we kind of end up in a place that's more about, well, what happens if we don't have to make a choice about this? What happens if the end is a question mark? What happens if the end is a continued exploration of gender, that we don't have to tie it up in a bow and present this neat, tidy thing, but we can just say that this is an ongoing exploration.
Right. And it is. I mean, you're still here telling your story.
Absolutely.
So there is no end. I mean,
There'll never be an end.
Right. No, and I imagine if you even had a conclusion to the story, it's hard to let it go.
Oh, it's so hard.
I mean, I imagine you're back at the beginning tweaking this, and because to put it out, it's your baby.
Yeah.
I mean, to put it out in the world, you're very, very brave.
Thank you so much.
You're very brave.
And I think too, it's very much about an emotional cycle, and these are emotional cycles that we all go through to really feel that we can be ourselves and live our truths and live our best lives.
Right, absolutely. And I hope you inspire so many to not force themselves into a box.
Yeah.
You think, I ultimately think everyone's looking for happiness. And so you think if you fit in this box, you're happy.
Yeah.
And that's never true.
It's never true.
Never once.
No.
Never once.
And I think, with my professional career, I do a lot of arts consulting, and I've been really trying to work on a lot of national queer performance angle and really think about what's nationally out there for queers that are trying to tour, that are doing all this work. There's so many people that are doing that work already. Sean Dorsey is one of them, an amazing trans choreographer that I think is really a trailblazer in the performing arts realm for queer choreographers or theater makers or performers. But it's been really interesting over the course of this show. I think I started with wanting to make this perfect thing, and now I've ended up with this thing that's essentially leaning into the imperfection of just being yourself.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah. Well said.
Thank you.
It makes me cry. It's so beautiful because it's really heavy ideas and really heavy concepts, but to be articulated in a way that people understand, people relate.
Yeah.
I think people have feelings and don't know how to express them, don't know how to articulate it.
It's true.
So art like this really helps them to work through their own.
Yeah. I think it was a huge challenge being able to create something that's really about insider queer culture. It's about hookup apps. It's about clubs. It's about drag scenes, and really make sure that that's translatable for anyone to understand.
Yeah.
And then I think to really join that culture and those ideas with a lot of content around toxic masculinity, which I think a lot of people think about, and understand the concept of what it is. But when we start to apply it to these very specific things, it gets a little muddy, or sometimes it's very challenging for people to identify with it without shutting down.
Right.
And so really, I think by making this show, I want to open up a conversation about what it is to be both feminine and masculine at the same time. The show is called #FemMasculine to really give an idea that, like, in the age of non-binary identity, where this is now a driver's license identity, that we have so many youth that are identifying as non-binary, what does it mean for older generations to look at non-binary identity or hybrid identity as a new normal?
Right, right. And what's really beautiful is that you loop in the digital era.
Mm-hmm.
And so you keep it really young, really fresh, really new,
Yeah.
but it's relatable to everybody.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'm old and terrible at the computer.
Yeah.
But I love how you play with it. I mean, everyone is on these dating apps.
It's
everyone
true.
is hashtagging. Everyone is. And so it's a really brilliant way to pull it all together and make it very modern.
Yeah, we there's a whole section in the show where I just kind of talk about the evolution of my sexuality in relation to the evolution of the internet.
So many can. I mean,
so many can.
Right.
We have a moment in the show where we do a dial-up internet orchestra where the audience is participating and making all these different noises with us. And then talking through what does an evolution look like, going from like AOL.com to like different specific gay dating apps and into these like almost fetish sites.
Right.
Or Craigslist Personals. Rest in peace, Craigslist Personals.
Is that no longer?
No, they had to get rid of it.
Oh, wow. I had no idea.
Yes,
idea.
It was, I forget the bill, but it was focused on stopping sex trafficking.
I see.
And,
okay.
And so all of these different sites got rid of or had to disband sections that had to do with personals or connections because they were worried about this upcoming legislation.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Oh my
I know.
gosh. Whoa. I know. But it's
Craigslist-
interesting how technology is evolving and changing
so
and
much.
is so personal to us.
Yeah, and now, I mean, like, it's in our pockets.
Right.
Like, the idea, too, that we can just immediately access this grid of people that could fulfill whatever needs that we're looking for instantaneously is so interesting to think about and so easy to take out any self-validation that we have and to put it towards someone else and give someone else the power to make us feel complete.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, beautifully said. Yeah. I know it's fascinating. I mean, I'm terrible at the computer, but I've watched people swipe. No. I'm like, what is your criteria? I mean, what are you even looking? Like, just the person's photo is an absolute no.
Right. It's like, how can you make a snap judgment on a person within 1 second, whether you're like yes or no?
And then they're doing that to you.
Of course they are. So it's kind of terrifying.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's too much for me.
Well, where do you go to, like, meet some people or whatever?
I don't know.
Online?
I know. I'm like an old lady. I don't know. In the world.
It's the grocery store, out and about.
Totally. Out and about doing things. I'm not sure where I meet anybody. I don't know if I've met anybody. I don't know.
You're just like, I just interviewed them here at the radio station.
It's true. It's all just a journey. Who knows?
Absolutely.
Who knows? But maybe I should try. It's
I
such
don't know. You can check it out.
I know.
Yeah.
Couldn't be bad. You'll see me next time. I'll be like a monster.
You will be. You'll be like, right, left, right.
I know, totally. Oh, I love it so much.
Yeah.
That's so fabulous. So Brava Theater, and what are your dates?
So #FemMasculine is having an opening night party.
#FemMasculine. I love the title.
Thank you. On October 3rd, we're having DJ Rob Fatale DJ for us that night. It's going to be a super fun party. And the show runs October 3rd through 5th.
Okay.
And then 10th through 12th down in the cabaret space.
Oh, how fabulous.
Yes.
Everyone go out and see it. It's going to be so great. I'm so excited. So what is next? I don't want to put any pressure on you. I know this is just about to launch and you've been working so hard. But how do people follow you or find you?
Yeah, sure. For following and finding me, my website is seamanart.com, which is SEAMAN. Art.com. And then on Instagram, I'm Femasculine, like the name of the show.
Oh, I love it. I'm going to follow you.
Yeah, if you come to the show, I make you follow me at the show. It's written into the show.
Oh, I love it.
Mama needs followers.
You're fabulous. Brilliant. How brilliant. You're changing my life here.
Yes, but I think that the next project that I'm going to be working on, I've really been, doing a lot of deep navel gazing and kind of self-exploration with this show, and I'm really excited to put my artistic efforts towards my artistic and consulting partners' performance that they've been working on, which is Black Benatar's Black Magic Cabaret.
I love Black Benatar.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
She was here maybe about a year ago. Oh, I just love her. We had the funnest time. Give her my love.
The best.
She's the best.
She's ridiculous. But yeah, we'll be working on that show and developing it.
Can the two of you come back together?
Oh,
that would be magic.
We are a lot of magic.
I can imagine. Yeah. Oh, I love it already.
We're also putting together a sort of showcase for a bunch of different performers in New York in January during a performing arts conference I'm really excited about.
How wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear all these good things ahead.
Yes, there's so many things.
Keep up the good work. The world needs you. We need your voice. Be loud.
Thank you, Francesca.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, and I will see you at Brava. I
right,
love everything about this. Plug everything one more time.
All
Websites,
right.
#,
Femasculine, October 3rd through 5th, 10th through 12th at Brava Theater. Tickets at brava.com. Opening night party with DJ Rob Fatal at Femasculine on Instagram. And
perfect.
Yeah, have a great day. Take care of yourself.
Yes.
Self-care plug.
Self-care.
Self-care
Yes, important.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. It's
You're
important to
welcome.
put that over the airwaves. Thank you. Remember to self-care. Yes. It's true. People don't remember that enough. It's true.
We wear ourselves down. Go take yourself a little exercise and then treat yourself to the spa or something.
You're
a little
wonderful.
Relaxation.
Yes.
And your favorite meal.
Oh, you're wonderful. Yeah. Yes, I hope everyone's listening. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
We have to support our local artist, Kevin Seaman, opening at Brava Theater, opening October 3rd. It's going to be amazing. But here is some Eddie Boyd, Come On Home, right here on KPOO.